Yes, let's hope so. Tottenham's Europa League defeat to Royal Antwerp ended a run of 10 games without defeat since their opening day loss to Everton in this very stadium, and Brighton will hope that blip continues. But there have very much been signs that Spurs are heading in the right direction under Jose Mourinho, and he will expect a dominant performance this evening. Well, Clinton, Tottenham have shown signs this season they're a force to be reckoned with, but they've also thrown away points against Newcastle and West Ham in dramatic fashion. What do you think is the real Spurs?
I think you've seen the real Spurs over the last couple of weeks. I think they've been excellent. Even against West Ham and Newcastle, they were good going forward, really dominant. So I think we'll see a good game this evening.
And the two sides line up as follows. Lloris in goal for Spurs with Doherty, Alderweireld, Dyer, Reguilon, Sissoko and Højbjerg in midfield. Eric Lamela into the side for this one, Ndombele and Son hoping to get into support of Harry Kane. And as for Brighton, well, they've got Robert Sanchez making his debut in the Premier League and for the club. Back three of Webster, Veltman, Byrne, Lamptey and March in the wing-back areas. Ben White into midfield with Basuma, Lallana and Gross supporting Trossard. No Mopé in the matchday squad. And it looks as though Brighton are going to kick us off from left to right. Trossard with the ball at his feet. So the players ready to go, and it's Brighton who kick us off from left to right in this one. The Premier League on Sunday. It's been a busy day of Premier League action, and this is the final match of the Sunday, and Clinton Morrison is alongside me.
Yeah, and I think it should be a good game. We've had a few good ones this weekend, so hopefully this is a brilliant one as well.
And already a free kick to Brighton. Tariq Lamptey, such a bundle of energy down that right-hand side. He's been fouled just inside the Spurs half, and he'll get a free kick, and they'll have a chance to just keep the ball. They like to keep the ball, Brighton. That may play into Tottenham's hands. We will see. They do a little clipball towards Trossard, who's the man in up front for Brighton, it seems, the way they're setting up. We'll keep an eye on that. With no striker in this side, Clinton. That's an interesting thing to make note of. It looks like Lallana maybe might go in the middle.
Yeah, Lallana's clever. I don't think if it's Lallana and Trossard, they won't both play up against the centre halves. It'll be hard for Alderweireld and Dyer because they're clever footballers. So they will want to know who should go and pick up either Lallana or Trossard.
Long ball forward by Spurs towards Lamela, who couldn't get it under control, and Brighton able to mop that up and start an attack from deep inside their own half. It's not the best clearance though, and they can break here. Spurs, Kane's tried to lay it off, but Basuma has it for Brighton in their own half, but he's driving towards the halfway line. Solly March now in the Brighton half, relatively deep, and they'll play it all the way back to goalkeeper Sanchez. A big evening for him, making his debut, the 22-year-old, last played for Rochdale back in March, last senior game. It's going to be a big night for him, isn't it, Clinton?
Yeah, it's going to be a huge night. He knows he's going to, obviously the way Tottenham are playing at the moment, he's going to be busy. So it's going to be a big night, and it's a big call from Graham Potter to put him in against a Tottenham side that are in good form at this precise moment.
They did lose, of course, on Thursday, but in the Premier League they're unbeaten since the first match day when they lost at home to Everton. A game that was disappointing for Spurs in terms of the result, but they've not looked back really since then. And one of the impressive performers since that opening day is Pierre Højbjerg. Emil Højbjerg in that midfield. He's been a real force and a very good signing for the club. An early free kick again for Brighton in their own half, and they'll look to get themselves going again. Slightly nervy start from the away side, but Webster has it for Brighton in their three-man defence. Veltman and Byrne. Basuma strides away from two Spurs challengers and drives into the Spurs half, and he's released it wide to Trossard now, and this is a dangerous position for Brighton in the Spurs penalty area, and it's dealt with right on the edge by Sissoko, who breaks up the move, and Spurs can counter, and they're dangerous in this sort of position. It's Son, and he's swept a pass forward to Lamela, who's now in the Brighton penalty area. He's got Kane in support. Lamela to take on Webster, plays it in low, and somehow Sanchez gets something onto that. It's gone away. They'll clear it away from their own penalty area. Brighton, Spurs almost in there.
Yeah, it's great play from Lamela. He plays it to Son, and Son's played a great reverse pass to Lamela. Lamela does ever so well, bides his time, nearly picks out Harry Kane at the back post. It was good defending from Dan Byrne.
We've only played 3 minutes of this contest, still 0-0, but Spurs looking dangerous there on the counter, always in that sort of position. Reguilon has it in the left back area in the Brighton half, but Spurs check it all the way back into their own half, just near the centre circle with Eric Dyer, and he'll get a move going with Alderweireld and Sissoko. And Spurs into the Brighton half, a cross-field ball by Alderweireld finding Reguilon now on the edge of the Brighton penalty area to Kane, who's now in the Brighton penalty area, and they try and shepherd him out of the danger zone. Lamptey covering there. Good start this from Spurs. Højbjerg has it. Kane has dropped off deep and he's dangerous in that sort of position. As we've seen in the early stages of this season, they've decided to start play again from their own half of Alderweireld. He gets his head up and crosses the halfway line. Doherty, who's also on the halfway line for Tottenham, and they are pretty high up the pitch, but they've managed to play it all the way back to Lloris in his own goal, and they're looking very confident, the home side, who are kicking from right to left in their famous white shirts.
Yeah, they started well. Tottenham will probably dominate possession. Brighton like to dominate, but Brighton, you can see when Tottenham have the ball, they just get back into a good shape and say, you're going to find it hard to break us down, and you're going to have to be really clever. But Tottenham have started on the front foot.
And we've only played just under 5 minutes, and already Spurs looking pretty dangerous on 5 Live. Reguilon playing it towards the centre circle, and Højbjerg, and he'll get it to Sissoko. Sissoko feeds it forward and Lamela lays it off, and it's bright football again from Spurs, enterprising football. They have it on the edge of the Brighton penalty area. They've moved it wide now to Reguilon, who inside left position from the Spaniard to Ndombele. Comfortable on the ball, the Spurs players, keeping it short, looking for an opening. It's in a wide left position with Heung-min Son. Son plays a short ball on the give and go. Didn't get it back from Reguilon, who's in the Brighton penalty area, gets a shot away, and Sanchez could only just palm it over for a corner. All Spurs at the moment, still 0-0.
Yeah, the Spurs look really confident. They're passing the ball 1 and 2 touches. Good play again. Son plays a good ball into Reguilon, and Webster should get tighter, and he lets him turn Reguilon in the box. Good shot, smart save from Sanchez.
Very good start from the home side at the Tottenham Stadium. The last game of this Premier League Sunday, and it's been a busy day, plenty of goals, and they have a corner kick here. The home side through Son to take. Ndombele a short option, but fancy Son will send this in here. He's whipped it in towards that near post, managed to get it away to Brighton through Webster. Ndombele has it to Son on the edge of the Brighton penalty area. Ndombele trying to offer an option to the left. Højbjerg back to Ndombele, does a little flick to Son, who's now in a left position to whip it across, and once again more defending for Brighton at the near post. I think it was Webster on the cover.
Yeah, it's good play again from Ndombele and Son. They play ever so well together, and Son whips a great ball in, but good defending from Webster. He positioned himself really well at the centre back.
You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live, and Tottenham have a corner against Brighton here, still 0-0, and Son to take their second corner of the game. Whips it in towards that near post. They got something on that, I think, through Basuma, and they can break away now. Brighton. Lamptey, he'd run away from his man in Ndombele, and this is going to be an early yellow card. We've only played just under 7 minutes, and the Frenchman is going to pick up a yellow card, and a deserved one, I think. Clinton, what do you think?
Yeah, he deserved. He doesn't need to do it, but it's poor from Reguilon. He kind of got on Ndombele that. He plays it to Lamptey, and no one ain't catching Lamptey. It's a race, but he doesn't need to do it. Reguilon's getting back up, and they've also got Eric Dyer that was back there, so it was a silly yellow card for Ndombele there. Our
referee is Graham Scott, who took charge of this exact fixture last season when Spurs won by 2-1. And one of the goal scorers that day, Dele Alli, not even involved in the matchday squad today, and that is a saga that just keeps on going. But he's not the only big name in this Spurs side who's missing from the matchday squad. Davinson Sanchez, Bergwijn as well.
Yeah, there's loads. Serge Aurier, there's quite a few, to be fair, missing. So yeah, and Jose weren't happy. Vinicius, the new centre forward, is not involved as well, so he wasn't happy. He most definitely wasn't happy on Thursday night, so he's made big changes.
Brighton have the ball with Webster deep in their own half, or midway through their own half I should say, and they look to break quickly with their enterprising play. Pascal Gross with a switch pass, looking for a run in a wide area from Trossard. He's just taken Sissoko near the corner flag, and the Frenchman nicks the ball from Trossard, from the Belgian, and Spurs able to clear, but they've only got it as far as Byrne. Byrne gives the ball away to Højbjerg in the Spurs half, and they're on halfway now, Spurs, and Kane with a switch ball to move it quickly towards Son, and Webster was tight to the Korean. and Brighton have it. The ball changing hands pretty quickly. Lamptey has it on the halfway line, and he looked to burst away. So full of energy down that right-hand side. An impressive start to this season from Tariq Lamptey.
Yeah, it will be a good battle with Reguilon against Lamptey. Both quick, both love to get forward. So yeah, it'll be an interesting battle, that one, this evening.
Tariq Lamptey coming through the Chelsea system, and they're in the FA Youth Cup final tomorrow. And the young Chelsea players, well, he's one who's decided to leave and play for Brighton, getting the minutes, and he's getting the reward here, playing at the highest level, the Premier League in England. And Reguilon has the ball for Spurs, played all the way back to Lloris in these opening 10 minutes. We've not even hit the 10-minute mark yet, and Spurs have already had a couple of chances. Still 0-0 though on BBC Radio 5 Live, and this is the last of 4 Premier League games we've seen today. Southampton winning at Aston Villa 4-3 earlier on. What a game that is to watch on the highlights on Match of the Day 2 tonight from 10:30. Newcastle beating Everton, and Manchester United losing at home to Arsenal. So this final game, well, we're hoping to have a fair few goals in it, and the way it started in this opening 10 minutes, well, we're expecting goals the way it started.
Yeah, we hope so, Seb. We do hope so. I think Tottenham are dominating possession. You can see it was always going to be Brighton having a good shape with Lallana and Trossard look like they're playing up front together. So they have got a good shape, but Tottenham are moving the ball ever so well at this precise moment.
And they're moving it now with Dyer, who's in the Brighton half, midway past it, and Reguilon on the touchline, the left touchline, close to Graham Potter, the Brighton manager, who's on the edge of his technical area. Højbjerg has it for Spurs. Lamela does a little flick on there, on the edge of the Brighton penalty area, and Son is in the Brighton penalty area. This is a good chance. He's clipped it to the back post, looking for Lamela, and Basuma struggling to clear. And on the edge of the penalty area now,
he's going to give it free
Lallana has gone up to head the ball with Kane, and a free kick has been given to Spurs right on the edge of the area. Was it in the area?
No, it was on the edge, and it's clever from Harry Kane. And I've been in positions like that before, Seb, where Harry Kane's ahead of you, and you're thinking, I need to make this challenge. I do need to make this challenge, and it's right on the edge. It's right borderline on the edge. But I'd have to agree, the referee's made the right decision there.
It is very, very tight. I mean, I've seen a replay of it, and as he makes the challenge, Lallana, he's almost slightly in the penalty area, but as they fall, he's right on it, and VAR is checking it. They're checking it. John Moss is the video assistant referee, and they are having a look to see if it's a possible penalty. 11 minutes in here, and who knows, it did look very tight when we saw the replay.
It did look tight. It's a difficult one, because you can see it. I think it's going to stay as a penalty. There you go.
It's not.
Penalty.
It's going to be a penalty.
I just saw his change.
I thought he said he was going to stay.
No, stay. And then I said, no, it's going to be a penalty. I thought it was just on the line, but maybe Harry Kane was just inside, so they get VAR get it right.
Well, the Brighton players surround Graham Scott, the referee. The ball was clipped in by Son when they cleared it, Brighton, through Basuma, right on the edge of the penalty area. Lallana went to jump with Kane,
the contact,
and it's millimetres.
Seb, I think the contact might be just on the line. Like, when he actually goes up and catches Harry Kane, goes down, it might be just on the line. If on the line is a penalty, then it's the VAR that made the right call then.
And because it's a penalty, it's Harry Kane to take it, and he rarely misses. It's Kane against the new goalkeeper Sanchez, and Kane has no problem at all. He sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. The ball went to the keeper's left. Tottenham have an early breakthrough 13 minutes in. It's Tottenham Hotspur 1, Brighton 0.
Never in doubt. When Harry Kane steps up to take a penalty, never in doubt. He sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, and it's a brilliant penalty. It's what Tottenham deserve. They've been the better team so far.
And that's 149 Premier League goals for Harry Kane, which moves him level with Les Ferdinand on 10th on the all-time list for Premier League goals. He's only 27, Harry Kane. You feel he's going to be a lot further up. And we're watching another replay now to see how tight it was. Now, when I saw the replay, I thought they may overturn this. It was tight.
It was tight. It could have gone either way, really and truly, because the foot is in the penalty area and the rest is on the line. So, yeah, it could have gone either way.
So Brighton trail to Spurs, and it's, well, played just over 13 minutes, and Harry Kane, of course, on the score sheet. Didn't start the game in midweek against the Belgian side Royal Antwerp, the game that Spurs lost. Well, they're winning here and they have their opposition where they want them on BBC Radio 5 Live. In this game, Brighton, who looked a bit shaky, and they're missing Neil Maupay, their striker. It feels like a long road back already. We're only just under 15 minutes in. But do you have any problems with the decision?
No, I don't. At first I called it. When I first saw it, I did think it was just on the line and maybe just outside. But I think when you keep watching it back, you see Harry Kane's got a foot just inside the penalty area. So it could have been given either way, I think. So I think maybe I'd have to probably agree with VAR. VAR made the right decision.
Well, let's see what Brighton fans think of that. They'll be able to phone in 6:06 tonight from 9:30 with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. Well, we'll hear from the managers live as Basuma has a shot from the edge of the area for Brighton. Lallana moves it to March, and they got men in the penalty area. But that's the problem that Brighton are going to have. The men in the penalty area, Trossard and Gross, and you'd think that Dyer and Alderweireld would lap those sort of crosses up all day like they did just there.
Yeah, they don't want crosses in the box. They want it slid down the line into their feet so they can cause the Tottenham centre-halves all sorts of problems.
And the ball is in the arms of Hugo Lloris, who rolls it out to Eric Dyer on the edge of the penalty area. Dyer feels like centre-back is his position now after all those years playing in midfield. He's now very much a centre-half for Spurs and a starting one. Davinson Sanchez, who was once the club's record signing, not even in the matchday squad. And we've been over that debate a few times already, but it is intriguing the way that Jose is handling his lineup this season. Spurs, you feel, are bubbling away with ambitions of winning the league, which would be the first time since 1961. Not that they need reminding. They have it on the halfway line with Lamela, with those little blonde streaks in his hair, replacing Lucas Moura for this Sunday's match. Moura on the bench for this one. He has made the matchday squad. Son being well tracked by Lamptey. That's going to be some battle on Tottenham's left and Brighton's right hand side. Reguilon, the Spanish fullback who loves to bomb forward but keeping things simple for the home side. The Londoners switching play through Dyer up towards Lamela, and Brighton don't look comfortable at the moment. March clears it away only as far as Højbjerg. Kane wants it short. He's the playmaker in this Spurs side, it seems, with that number 10 on his back. Plays it short with a 1-2, looking to move it quickly, the Spurs players. Sissoko has it for them in the middle of the Brighton half. Sissoko looks to move it, looks to his left, chooses not to, and plays it back to Dyer. Højbjerg has it. He's had plenty of touches so far for the home side. In towards Ndombele. Ndombele to Kane, who's pretty deep once more, midway through the Brighton half. Does a little ball in towards, looking for Doherty, who made an excellent diagonal run into the penalty area. Kane has turned into a beautiful playmaker, hasn't he?
Kane is trying to be like Bobby Firmino. That's what, you know what he's trying to do? If you see it, what he's doing, he's dropping deeper and deeper, but he scores way more goals and he's an out and out striker, but he's added to his game. He's always had this in the locker, but he's getting even better where he drops deep and you get the runners like Salah and Mane do at Liverpool with Son and Lamela. But it's been Son and Harry Kane. The combination this season has been brilliant, but Harry Kane's a wonderful footballer. He's a clever footballer. To be able to drop that deep and pick passes, excellent. I guarantee when he gets later on in his career, like you see with Wayne Rooney, he could drop even further into midfield because he's that much of a clever footballer.
The words of ex-Premier League striker Clinton Morrison, so he knows what he's talking about at this level.
Not sure about that, Seb. some would say not sure about that, but thanks for the nice words, mate.
Absolutely. If you score goals at this level, then you're a pretty good player, that's for sure. And it's moved wide to Gross by Brighton, and they try and play it down the line looking for Lamptey, and Spurs set again to look to counter. And it's Reguilon trying to switch it across to Lamela. Finds his target, the Argentinian, who appeals for handball on the halfway line. And the referee has given a free kick to Spurs. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live. About coming up to 18 minutes played from the Tottenham Stadium, and it's Spurs 1, Brighton 0. The last game on this Premier League Sunday, but tomorrow we've got more Premier League action on 5 Live. Leeds United host Leicester City. So don't miss that game. If you want to see all the live or listen to all the live commentaries on the station, well, BBC Sounds is your place to visit for all podcasts as well. They've switched the play across, have Spurs to Reguilon, who's got some room on the left-hand side to run at Lamptey. They give and go with him, but he ends up giving it away, and now Lamptey can break away. And I'm really intrigued by the battle between Lamptey and Reguilon down that side, which is the Tottenham left and the Brighton right-hand side. Broke all the way through to Hugo Lloris, the Spurs captain, who plays it out and short to Alderweireld, the Belgian who's lost his Belgian teammate in Vertonghen, who's gone to Benfica. But Spurs have had no problem in the transfer market, a quietly impressive transfer market. One of those players they bought as Reguilon, who's on the ball now and plays a little clip ball over the top to Son, who's racing after this, and Veltman across, had to get there. And needs to clear it now. The Dutchman took a heavy touch but kept it in play. But Spurs can put the press on, and Lamptey's been pushed over by Ndombele, who's frustrated to give away a free kick. Brighton having deep in their own half, and it relieves just a bit of pressure for the home side, who found the going tough in the opening 20 minutes. Yeah,
it was good defending from Veltman there. He had to help out Webster because Reguilon played a good ball over the top. And watching here, the movement of Son is brilliant. He's one of the best. He's getting even better and better. Son, his movement's excellent, and he's adding so much goals to his game. Wonderful footballer. I love watching Son. Still, even though I've retired, I'm still learning now.
He's had an impressive season in the Premier League already. Him and Kane, a partnership, record-breaking partnership, and they've struck again in terms of Kane scoring his penalty, which separates the side. Spurs leading by a 1-0 from up to 20 minutes played, and Brighton have it, the visitors, with Webster on his 200th career appearance, striding up to the halfway line and giving it away to Son on the halfway line, who can run away from Webster, and he's got the legs on Webster, cuts inside the Korean, and he's looked to bend one, and he's bent it all the way over the bar behind for a goal kick.
This is the first time, I'm going to say, very greedy from Son. He's got Ndombele and Lamela either side of him to just roll it in. Listen, I can't say greedy, but I can say it's probably a player's in form, and he probably thinks he can score from that. He's done ever so well. He's made the chance for himself, but I think he's got two men either side of him, and he can just roll it to them, and they've got better opportunities. But who am I to tell Son what to do? He's been in fantastic form, and he feels confident every time he has a shot. He thinks he's going to score.
Did you see who was a metre away from Son when he had that chance? Harry Kane. They are right next to each other, as Brighton have it on the halfway line with Basuma. He moves it wide to March, and Solly March, Brighton man through and through, plays it back to Basuma, who wins a free kick, and they'll take anything like that at the moment. Brighton. Spurs have been very dominant in these opening 20 minutes, although they lead by just a 1-0 on 5 Live. Ball helped on by Trossard, but helped on to a Spurs player on the halfway line in Sissoko, and he gave it away. That's happened a few times, both sides conceding possession in the middle of the pitch. Lallana, who conceded the penalty for Brighton earlier on, he has the ball for the away side on the left-hand side for Brighton. Now Ben White in that midfield role, stepping into the midfield, even though Lewis Dunk is injured. He still keeps his place in that midfield area, does Ben White, the man on loan at Leeds last season. Yeah,
I think he's a good player. I've seen him a few times playing in there. He's comfortable on the ball, and he gives the back three that shield. But now it's a different game because Tottenham have scored. Brighton have to come out now and try and get the equaliser.
Veltman steps into midfield and plays it to wide. He's surrounded by Spurs players, but he squeezes a pass out wide. Beautifully done by the youngster. Lamptey has it just on the side of the Spurs penalty area. White now just outside the D, switches the play across, and Doherty cuts it out from reaching March on the left hand side. Byrne plays it into Basuma in that midfield for Brighton. Spurs on the edge of their penalty area trying to defend it, but Brighton can find Lamptey in space. Naheem can get a cross in from the right hand side. Men waiting for the cross. Lamptey cuts in on his left foot, plays it short to White. White can clip a low ball in. It was a dangerous ball, and Trossard is appealing for a penalty. He felt he was tugged. I think Doherty had his hands on him.
They will be checking it. VAR. He does. Matt Doherty is close to him. It's a good ball in from White. It's not aerial. It's where Trossard wants it, and I don't think there's much in that, to be fair. I think, we're trying to look at the replay again. He is holding him a little, and then he lets go at the right opportunity. So I don't think that would be given as a penalty.
Well, you say that, Clinton, but just seeing it again, Doherty has his arms around him.
And then, but then I think when Trossard should go down, when he first got him, he doesn't. He goes down after.
Do you think they should get the referee to have a look at this?
Yeah, he should have a look, because there is contact first, but then he's delayed with it, the way he goes down. But they should definitely have a look at it. But they're right. I knew he was going to give it because he went down too. It wasn't going to give it because he went down too late. So if he went down first, then they might have had a look at it.
So just to clarify, no penalty given. Graham Scott points for a goal kick, and Brighton don't get their chance to equalise. And Spurs well, we're going to say get away with one there, but they didn't really look a penalty when you look at it more and more. And Spurs have it on the halfway line with Kane, who helps it forward. It's headed away by White, and Basuma goes in with a challenge with Lamela. Lamela seemed to come off the better there, and it's gone all the way back to Lloris, and Spurs will have to start again to build from the back. Lloris plays it short to Dyer, as many teams play out from the back nowadays, and Son has it on the halfway line for Spurs, and he gets away from Gross, and there was 4 Brighton players near him, and he's just pushed out really, and Webster can try and get Brighton moving. They're in their own half though, and they'll have to play it all the way back to goalkeeper Sanchez, who had a save to make pretty early on. Not much he could do about Kane's penalty. Never misses Harry Kane, and his penalty is the difference between the sides just after the midway point of the first half. Spurs leading by a 1-0 on 5 Live, and they're very much worthy of their 1-0 lead. There was a little penalty scare about a minute ago, and if you're just joining us, and in terms of the Premier League today, well, Villa beaten at home by Southampton, Newcastle beating Everton by 2-1, Manchester United losing at home to Arsenal, and now Spurs beating Brighton with a chance to move second in the Premier League. Ball played down the line, and Pascal Gross wants the corner, and he's going to get it. Set pieces are always away.
Yeah, good run from Pascal Gross. That's what you want to do if you're one of the midfielders. Can you break him behind Lallana and Trossard? And yeah, he's earned himself, his team a corner there. Good run from Gross.
And White's gone up for this corner with Webster. Byrne, the huge figure of Byrne, losing that penalty as well for Brighton. Pascal Gross will take the corner. The man brought into the side, one of 2 changes from the draw against West Brom. So Gross to take this corner for Brighton. Arm up and swings it in. It's a teasing one, and Webster was close to meeting it. Falls to the edge of the penalty area, Basuma, and they're forced to go all the way back to the halfway line, and Tariq Lamptey, who unsurprisingly, considering his size, doesn't go up for corners, and it's all the way back to Sanchez.
Yeah, he's back to cover, because when you break you need your quickest players back, and he is probably the quickest player on this pitch this evening.
That's a kinder way of putting it, I suppose.
Yes.
That's why he's back there.
Yeah.
Lallana has it for Brighton. Lovely footwork from Adam Lallana, what he's known for, and he's on the move, and he's got it in the Spurs penalty area. He's laid off to Lamptey, back to Lallana. Lovely football by Brighton, but it breaks down, and Spurs hack it away through Højbjerg, always on the cover. But Brighton have it on the right hand side, and Gross was in a crossing position, but he's had to check back, plays it short to Lamptey, and the ball's gone out of play, which will give me a chance to mention in the Scottish Premiership early today, well, Rangers beat Kilmarnock by 0-0 to extend their lead at the top to 9 points. That's because Celtic were in the Scottish Cup semi-finals, and they beat Aberdeen by 2-0, and Manchester City women beat Everton in the FA Cup final by 3-1 after extra time. And in the Premier League today, well, we've already mentioned a few of the scores, but with Southampton winning, Newcastle winning, and Arsenal winning this Premier League season, the table just gets tighter and tighter. But Spurs, as we approach the 27th, we're in the 27th minute, leading Brighton by 0-0. A result, if it stayed the same, would move them second in the table. And how rosy things would look for the London side.
Yeah, that's not a bad start for Tottenham. That'd be a great start, and yeah, Jose would be happy. But Brighton are not out of this. That was good play just there before. Lallana getting into little pockets and creating stuff with Lamptey. So yeah, Tottenham know this game ain't over yet.
Tottenham trying to get themselves moving on the halfway line. Ball played straight out of play. Lewis Hamilton winning the Emiliano-Romagna Grand Prix today. Another win for the British driver. What a season he's having. And as far as Tottenham are concerned, well, they're leading this game by 0-0, and Tariq Lamptey running down the right-hand side, and Reguilon went in, and no foul given. Lamptey stayed down. He felt it was a free kick. Instead, Brighton are going to have a corner in a better position. The corner kick from where the free kick probably would have been taken, perhaps.
Yeah, he does well, Lamptey. Goes past Son, and then he just toes it past Reguilon, but it's a good challenge. But Brighton are a threat from set pieces. They have Dan Burn and Webster and Ben White who can attack it. They're obviously missing their captain, who's a huge threat in Dunk.
Well, Brighton have come back into the game in the last 5 minutes. They've looked a lot more promising. This Brighton side with no Neil Maupay in it, dropped for tactical reasons, we've been told by the club. They don't have a recognised striker, but they do have a corner. Gross takes it, whipped in, Kane defending, and he's done some excellent defensive work from corners this season. You just feel at any moment Spurs are going to break on the counter. It feels like a dangerous game for Brighton, and they've lost it to Kane in the Spurs half, and he'll look to move it and progress over halfway, and he'll take the throw in. Just perhaps the chance that Brighton thought that might be their throw on the halfway line. Potter thought about it. He's in his technical area.
Seb, that's brilliant from Kane, and you're right, in the last few games he's been brilliant defensively, and then he wins the ball there and carries Spurs up the football pitch. He is leading by example.
Spoken so much about Harry Kane, but he's almost become the complete player. So 10 is the perfect shirt. Ball switched across to Reguilon. He's got room now to move it to Son into the channel, I should say. And they play it short, Spurs into that midfield. Ndombele, such a very good player on the ball, the Frenchman. Ndombele settling into this Tottenham side now after, well, last season he was in and out the team, really. Josie didn't fancy him, but he fancies him now.
You have to give him huge credit to the player and to the manager. The manager, yeah, he came out and had some harsh words, and the player, sometimes as a player you can go either one way or the other. He said, I'm going to knuckle down and try and get back into this team, and I think he's excellent. Probably technically Tottenham's best player. The things he can do with the football out here in training is frightening. Now we just want to see it on a pitch, and we are slowly but surely starting to see the best of him.
The club's record signing. Right, Brighton have it with Lamptey, who's played a lovely ball into the channel for Lallana. Lallana in the Spurs penalty area, needs support, plays it back out to Gross, who clips it to the back post. It's awkward for March, drops to Trossard. He tries to get away from Sissoko. Sissoko on the cover. That's very much one of the reasons why Moussa Sissoko is in the team, to break up attacks like that in his own penalty area, would you believe. But Brighton still have it with Basuma. Into Lallana, plays it back. Little touches from Lallana, almost coming off. Ball driven into that Spurs penalty area. It's headed behind for a corner on the cover from Alderweireld, and it'll be a corner to Brighton. This is their best spell. We played half an hour. They trail by a goal to nil, though. They
are pushing, Seb. It was the ball from Lamela. He kept the ball in, and Solly March done well, but Alderweireld is good defending at the near post. But Brighton are pushing. They look the better team at the precise moment.
You can never switch off in the Premier League. All the sides play decent football at times, and never feel like the game is ever won. And Spurs can tell you that when they played West Ham. 10 minutes left, leading by 3 goals to nil. Brighton corner whipped in, good shape on that. Harry Kane heads it away, and then Ndombele can complete the clearance, and it's on halfway. They thought for a second we were going to have a race between Lamptey and Son. That would have been interesting, but Sanchez on the cover to sweep up, and Brighton have it in the centre circle with Dan Burn, who's now on the right hand side of the pitch, just the way it's broken with the corner breaking down. And they've got it now with Gross on the right hand side. Brighton in midway through the Spurs half. He's played it down the line to Trossard. Nobody in the penalty area at the moment for Brighton. Now Lallana's in there with Gross. The cross comes in. That's meat and drink for Højbjerg to head it away, and Harry Kane will try and hold the ball up and win a throw in. That should be a Brighton throw in, though. I think Kane sort of nonchalantly turned away and felt that he just relieved the pressure, but Brighton still have it, and Lamptey can take this throw in for the visitors.
You know, when Tottenham are under a bit of pressure, Jose comes out, he's in his technical area, he's even playing ball boy there, giving the ball back to Lamptey.
Burn has it now for Brighton, has to be careful. Sliding challenge from Lamela, and I have to say it looked as though he won the ball, and if he hadn't had a free kick given against him, they might have been away there, Spurs.
Yeah, I think he might have just caught him, but yeah, Lamela, it did look like a good tackle here, but I think the referee got the right decision.
Just over half an hour played. Spurs 1, Brighton 0 on BBC Radio 5 Live. The third of our commentaries today in the Premier League, and we've got more Premier League action tomorrow night with Leeds against Leicester, and 3 games in the Champions League as Manchester City host Olympiacos. We've got Manchester United travelling to Istanbul to play Başakşehir, and then Chelsea hosting French side Rennes on 5 Live. That's on Wednesday. Plenty of football. Lamptey's taken a throw and a foul throw. We rarely see those. I'm not sure how Lamptey could take a foul throw.
I was just about to say, we do rarely see foul throws, don't we, in this Premier League, but it can happen. Maybe his foot was on the pitch while he took it.
And there's always that look from the player. Lamptey gave a look almost like, me, are you sure? In any case, Brighton have it, and they're playing some good football at the moment. That's not a rarity this season. Basuma wanted to check back on his right foot. Basuma, he's fancied, having attempts at goal, the midfielder, after a stunning strike against Burnley on the last day of the season, and has given him a taste for goals. He's already scored once this season after not scoring before July for the club. who's been an important player in that Brighton midfield, but Spurs have it in their own half with Alderweireld, who plays it long towards Veltman, the Brighton player who mops up play for the visiting side, and they play it back to their goalkeeper Sanchez, who is making his Brighton debut, his Premier League debut today at the age of 22. The Spaniard who came to England at the age of 15 and has been in the Brighton system, on loan at Rochdale most recently, and that was his last senior game in football. And he's now playing against Tottenham in this wonderful stadium, the new Tottenham Stadium. This wonderful arena which is empty at the moment, of Brighton attacking that huge south stand, that single-tiered south stand with no fans in it at the moment. Have it on the right-hand side with Lamptey, and he's got a second bite of the cherry. It bounced back to him, but then he tried to play it off to Lallana. They felt they was fouled there, Brighton. Instead, Spurs, they just feel they're lying in wait for this counter. Brighton having plenty of the ball. Gross turns away from Sissoko, plays it down the line to Lamptey. Lamptey's onside, he could check it back to Trossard, and the shot is blocked, and then the flag goes up, and we know the way of things now.
Yeah, I know it's the way of things, but Lamptey's had the touch and then cut it back to Trossard, and then the linesman puts his flag up. Just put it up earlier. I know it's the rule, but I don't like this new rule. Just pull it up. Offside is offside. Why are you waiting to the end of play? You're just wasting time, basically.
Well, Brighton are always a good watch, and hopefully you're finding them a good listen as well, and they're back in action on Friday at home to Burnley. That's on 5 Live as well. Southampton against Newcastle, the other game this coming Friday. Premier League matches coming thick and fast, and hopefully you're enjoying this season. So many ups and downs for all the sides. All the sides have lost a game already, which is quite incredible. Barely started the season. And at the moment, Brighton have I thought Brighton were going to have a throw, and it's a Spurs throw in their own half, but they've been slightly rattled, the home side, in the last 10 minutes. Yeah,
Brighton have been a better team. Spurs can't get much possession at this precise moment, and you have to credit Brighton. Oh my gosh.
Well, lovely ball skills from Ndombele in midfield. Played it to Kane, who was then fouled by Veltman. That's what you were admiring there.
Yeah, I was admiring. He's got 3 players around him. The way he just rolls his foot on the ball is brilliant. If there's fans in there, they're clapping and applauding him. It's brilliant. And then Kane does well to win the free kick.
The words of Clinton Morrison, who did skills like that once now and again.
Yeah, now and again. Yeah. Only
more again, or
yeah, more again.
Dyer has it for Tottenham, and they just want to get their foot on the ball at the moment. Dyer slips, but he's got away with that. It's on halfway to Kane. Kane moves it to Alderweireld, who's on halfway for Spurs, and Reguilon's in loads of room on the left-hand side. Alderweireld thought about switching the play, then he plays the ball over the top for Doherty. It's about 10 minutes before half-time. Spurs leading by a goal to 0. That goal scored by Harry Kane, who moved 10th on the all-time Premier League list. 149 goals, level in 10th, I might add, with Les Ferdinand. And Graham Potter will be happy with the way his side have got themselves back in the game in terms of the contest, because Spurs were the dominant side for the first 20 minutes. They got their goal, but in the last, say, 15 minutes or so, Brighton have got close. But we've seen already the problems they have with no central striker. Players are dropping off, Clinton, but there's nobody in the box.
Yeah, and when balls are coming to the box, you haven't got that natural number 9, that predator instinct that can get between the sticks and wanting to score goals. But I think Potter will be happy if he goes in at 1-0, and still chasing this game. He'll be really happy, because Brighton have had a good 10 or 15 minute spell so far.
Lots of talking points in this match already, namely that penalty, and all these sort of talking points are discussed on the Football Daily podcast, which is available on BBC Sounds later tonight. And it's always interesting talking points, Spurs at the moment. Who's in, who's out of the team? Well, on this occasion, Son and Kane are together and combining here on the edge of the Brighton penalty area. Reguilon has it now. Once the 1-2 with Son, sharp in the tackle though, Brighton, and they're able to run it out. They want the throw-in. It's going to be a throw-in to Spurs, and Tottenham pinning Brighton back once more, trying to regain the initiative that they had about 15 minutes ago, with about 7 minutes to go before half-time.
I do like Harry Kane outside the box, but then he played the ball to Reguilon and he was still outside the box. I want him in the box, Harry Kane. I want him to score loads of goals. I know he's already got one, but go score 2 or 3.
Well, that's why we watch football. We want to see goals. And there's a strong challenge going in from Reguilon. People like good challenges as well. That wasn't a good challenge from the Spaniard. He is going to be the second player in Graham Scott's book.
Yeah, it's definitely a foul, and it is a yellow card. It's a reckless tackle. It's one he doesn't need to make.
Free kick to Brighton, midway through their own half. Webster will take. There's a expletive in Spanish said by Reguilon. And at the moment, Spurs in control of this contest. 1-0 up against Brighton. Harry Kane, the goal scorer. We've got about 6 minutes to go before half time. Can Brighton find a way through? Ball played over the top towards Trossard. Cover comes across from Dyer. And a free kick to Brighton in a wide area near the edge of the Spurs penalty area. Doherty can't believe the free kick's been given. This looks a promising position to cross one in, though. Yeah,
the problem with Doherty is better going forward. So now when he plays in his Tottenham team, he has to do a lot more defending, and a few times tonight he's been caught out of position and wrong side of the players. Just then he was the wrong side of Lallana, so he would have to probably sharpen up on that.
Well, Byrne is up for this free kick. Dan Byrne, 6'7" tall, always a target, of course. And Spurs having their defensive line right on the edge of their penalty area. Brighton with a free kick in a wide area. I think it's March who's gone across to take it. Maybe Gross will have a go. Either way, it's played short, whipped in the free kick by March's. Lovely shape on that. Very important header in there by Sissoko. Vital.
Yeah, it's a great touch from Sissoko. If you remember the West Ham game, he's the one who lost his runner and he got a free header. So very good defending from Sissoko.
Danger not clear though by Spurs. Lamptey on the move, Basuma in a wide area. Brighton will start again, and I have to say I think they probably had more of the ball in this first half. That's not strange as Webster marauds through the middle, moves it wide. It's open nicely for March. Time to get a cross in. March took a deflection off Doherty. He'll go behind for a corner kick. They're finishing the half stronger. About 5 minutes to go before half-time. Still 1-0 Spurs.
Yeah, they've been the better team the last 15-20 minutes. They've for sure been the better team. Jose won't be happy. They've been happy with the start, but you're always going to get games like this where the away team will have a spell, and this is where you need to score when you're on top.
Mourinho looked very concerned there with the defending. He's gone to sit back down to watch this corner, probably through his fingers, because Brighton putting the pressure on with about 4 minutes to go until half time, and they're all surrounding Lloris for this corner. It's very congested in the 6-yard box. Brighton play the corner short. Now can they get a cross in? The centre back's waiting for the ball in towards Webster, headed by Byrne, breaks to the back post. Veltman goes in with Lloris, and I think Lloris is okay, just says he's okay and gets up.
It's good goalkeeping, it's brave. Veltman, he could have easily got a boot in the head there, and that's what you need from your goalkeeper. Very good goalkeeping there from Hugo Lloris.
He's so fast out of his goal. The France World Cup winner Son, who's felt he was fouled on the halfway line, no free kick, hasn't really been in the game in the last 20 minutes or so, would you believe?
No, but you know what, this is what I say, where Harry Kane keeps dropping deep. Eric Dyer plays a long ball, Son flicks it on, and Kane, because he's so deeper than Son, there's no one to go in behind there.
Spurs, well, I don't want to say they're on the back foot, but Brighton are very much the side in possession of the ball most of the time, certainly in the last 20 minutes or so, with about 3 minutes left of the half plus added time. Brighton still trail Tottenham by a goal to 0 on 5 Live. Byrne moves it wide to March on the left. He cuts back inside. Brighton happy to just keep the ball and find an opening, and they've caused so many big sides problems, just need the points to show for it, and they're trailing in this game despite all their beautiful football. Gross had a go at Lamptey on the right hand side. He felt Lamptey had made the wrong run. Sanchez, the Brighton keeper, he plays it long up towards Dyer, and the flag's up for offside. And as we approach towards the end of this half, Clinton, how would you sort of sum it up with a couple of minutes to go?
Yeah, I'd say Tottenham side better after the first 10 or 15 minutes, but I think after that, I think Brighton have been a better team. They've dominated possession. You can see Jose's not happy, wants his team to get up the pitch and, squeeze Brighton, don't let them play out from the back. But Brighton have grown into the game and probably feel a bit aggrieved of going in and giving that penalty away. A lot of people will say it shouldn't have been a penalty, it should be a penalty, but I think it's been a good game.
It's a good game for Spurs as far as the score sheet is concerned, leading by a goal to 0, 2 minutes to go before half-time, but Brighton have won it back in the Spurs half, and Lallana, the beautiful ball skill, the feet to get away from a couple of challenges and win a throw-in on the right-hand side. There's not many players better players with the ball at their feet than Adam Lallana over the years in the Premier League, and a player who made it relatively late into the Premier League, really.
Yeah, he's a talented player, Adam Lallana. Very good footballer. I think when Brighton signed him on a long contract, I thought it was great business, because I thought there'd be a lot of bigger clubs interested in Adam Lallana. So whatever Brighton said to him, it certainly did pay off, and he's buying into what Brighton are doing.
The good thing about radio is, as you said that, he put the ball straight out of play with a misplaced pass.
Yeah, I blame
pulled him out.
Yeah, I blame Lamptey. Lamptey should have made the run. He stopped running, so we won't blame Lallana there.
You know, Lamptey's quick. He's not that quick.
Yeah.
Basuma has it in space. The shot's on with his left foot. You feel he doesn't fancy it, and he tries to check back onto his right. Good defending by Sissoko once again. Ball is on the edge of the penalty area, wide left for Brighton, and March trying to take on Doherty. Doherty takes him to the corner. March wants the corner, ends up running into the corner flag, and Spurs can bring it away. And they want a handball here on the edge of their own penalty area to relieve the pressure. The counter hasn't paid off too much for the home side in this first half.
No, it hasn't. And you've got to give huge credit to Brighton. Brighton have kind of at times penned Tottenham in. They've got a good shape. And as I said, the last 20-25 minutes, they've been the better team. They look like the team likely to score the next goal in this game.
Brighton do have Danny Welbeck on the bench, who actually never scored against Spurs when he was at Arsenal. I don't think he won a game during that period, the North London derby. Will he be involved in the second half of Brighton, who do not have a recognised striker? No Neil Mopé in the matchday squad. Now Basuma's gone down on the centre circle. Brighton want the ball put out, and Doherty puts it out. I think he's going to be okay. Basuma is gingerly getting to his feet, although he's shaking his head. And the fourth official holds up the ball to say 3 minutes of time added on at the end of this first half. Spurs leading by 1-0 on 5 Live.
Yeah, he went up for a challenge, Basuma, and he weren't happy, but unless it's a head injury, he should just play on it. He was alright though, he bounced up, they did the right thing, and they've thrown it back to Tottenham. Basuma,
the man from Mali, has got to his feet in that Brighton midfield. Such an important player to them. Missed some games through suspension after a red card against Newcastle. That's Brighton's only win this season, and they're trailing in this game. We're into the first minute of time added on in the first half. Lamptey slips on the edge of his penalty area, but Son was actually too busy looking at the referee for some reason. And Sanchez plays it long up towards halfway, and Lallana will take it. Wants a handball off Højbjerg. No handball decision given, and Spurs will keep the ball, and you'd fancy just try and play the game out until half time and preserve their lead, a lead that would move them second in the table, with Aston Villa losing at home today, Everton losing at Newcastle, Manchester United losing at home to Arsenal. And this is the third of the 3 live games we've had on 5 Live, and at the moment it's Spurs who lead by that 1-0. Brighton looking to finish the half. We're in added time here, and Gross has it on the right hand side and plays it back to the halfway line, and Feltman into Basuma, and Lamptey wants it in a wide right area. Basuma thought about the pass, slow releasing the pass. Spurs have everybody back inside their own half to defend this, including Harry Kane in his own centre circle half. And Feltman has it, clip ball over the top to Lallana, couldn't bring it down. He would have been through to have a shot in the penalty area. He puts his head in his hands because Adam Lallana, for once, his touch let him down.
But the movement from Lallana was superb. He sucked Eric Dyer into the ball and then spun in behind Eric Dyer. Great ball from Veltman. Proper centre forward play that, and he's not a centre forward, Lallana. And usually he's got a great touch. He's really unlucky, but really good movement from Adam Lallana.
And that's how you want it to work, I suppose. When you've got no striker, you want those, I don't want to say the word false nine, but you want those players just dropping off into the space and then making runs.
Yeah, make clever runs, and that was a clever run. Really good clever run. The movement's brilliant. If you watch it as a youngster, the way he goes to the ball and Eric Dyer goes with him, and then he just vacates that and spins in behind him and tries to find space in behind. It's a proper centre forward. It's which I was taught for years to make runs like that. I thought it was brilliant.
Well, we've played over 2 minutes, so I'm expecting Graham Scott to blow his whistle any second now. Brighton have it in their own half. They'll, with Feltman, the Dutchman signed from Ajax, he'll play it all the way back to Sanchez, the goalkeeper. Hasn't had too much to do actually since the opening 15-20 minutes. They don't want to give it away here on the edge of their penalty area, which they've done. And Byrne loses it to Lamela, pulls it back looking for Kane, and they want a free kick here. And I thought the referee was going to blow for half time. Instead, he's given a free kick to Tottenham right on the edge of the Brighton penalty area in a wide area. near the goal line. He's going across, and I think here, is it on the edge of the penalty area? It's right on the edge.
He's on the edge, and he gave Dan Burn a yellow card. He caught him really late there. Lamela did well to dispossess him, and he gave him a yellow card.
Well, Dan Burn is in the book, I think. Just waiting for confirmation of that. Get a yellow card, Dan Burn. But this free kick for Spurs is very close to the goal line, on the edge of the penalty area. They're going to have a chance here. It's very close to the Brighton goal as well. Son and Lamela are standing over it. Maybe Lamela, it's a very tight angle to have a shot at goal. They'll certainly be looking to cross this, but who knows? Ndombele is lurking on the edge of the D, as is Reguilon as well. They whip it in through Lamela, flashes over the bar. It was a very ambitious attempt from the Argentinian. Right on half-time, Spurs leading by a goal to nil, Clinton. Was that the right option from Lamela just then?
No, it's poor. You think if I'm going up as a centre-half, he's trying to score a free kick from the byline. I can't believe that. That's poor from Eric Lamela. He does make some stupid decisions, and that was a stupid decision. But it's been a good first half. I think entertaining. Both teams playing attractive football. Tottenham started ever so well, scored a penalty. A lot of people will say, should it have been or shouldn't it not have been a penalty? Was it outside? Was it inside? And I thought Brighton in the last 20-25 minutes were the better team, were pushing, and they didn't create any clear-cut chances. You can see they're missing that number 9, but they're playing good football.
We've perfectly wrapped up the first half for me, Clinton. I don't need to do it myself. All I'm going to say is that Spurs are leading by a goal to nil over Brighton at half-time. With the two sides back out onto the pitch, Spurs are going to kick us off from left to right in this second half. They line up with Lloris in goal. No changes at half-time, incidentally. Doherty, Alderweireld, Dyer and Reguilon in the back four. Sissoko and Højbjerg doing the midfield work. Lamela, Son and Ndombele getting up in support of Kane. And as for Brighton, we already heard they don't have Neal Maupay. But in goal they have Roberto Sanchez making his Brighton and Premier League debut. A back three of Webster, Veltman and Burn. Lamptey, right wing back March, left wing back Basuma and White in the middle. Gross and Alana up in support of faux striker Trossard. And Spurs get us underway in this second half, leading by a goal to nil. That goal scored by Harry Kane. A first half initially dominated by Spurs. Last 20 minutes, Clinton, it was Brighton.
Yeah, I said it many times. I thought Brighton were good, especially towards the end of the half, and the last 15-20 minutes they dominated possession. So I think Jose would have been looking for half-time and obviously having a word with his players to see what they can do better, and try and get back to what they were doing the first 10 or 15 minutes of the first half.
When these opening seconds of the second half, Spurs will look to play it long through Eric Dyer towards Son, and it's put out of play by Webster on the far side near the halfway line. Jose, no subs this time after his 4 in Europa League. And Clinton, you mentioned it at half-time. This is very much his strongest side, it feels like now. Yeah,
I'd say this is definitely his strongest side. He's picked this team quite a lot in the Premier League, so I think he thinks this is his best side. The only other decision is probably where Lamela keeps coming in for Mora, Bergwijn or Gareth Bale. I think when Gareth Bale gets fully fit, I think Gareth Bale will be a regular.
There's a challenge from Webster on Son near the halfway line, and Son's just struggling to get to his feet. Free kick was given for the challenge, and Son's now moving a little gingerly towards the Brighton penalty area. Spurs have taken the free kick short. Reguilon has it, and now midfield Ndombele, who turns away from a challenge and drives at the Brighton defence. Ndombele, lovely feet, steps over, just ran into a blue mix of Brighton shirts, and they can break away. And Lamptey hoping to get in support of Trossard. And a bright start again from both sides here in this game. Brighton, they always look to be positive, and that could give more chances to Spurs. We said it in the first half with that counter-attack. Brighton driving through the middle through Veltman, and he's gone past 2 or 3 challenges, and very similar to Ndombele just a moment ago, just going for it. I suppose that can happen in games when everyone's marking so tightly. All of a sudden there's space for someone just to go for a run. Yeah, you can take that opportunity when you're playing the 3 at the back. The centre half, the spare one, can drive forward, and if no one's going to come and engage you, then keep going and keep going. Good run from Veltman, then he ran out of ideas at the end of it. Well, Veltman in that back 3, no Lewis Dunk for Brighton. He's serving his second game of his 3-match suspension for his red card against Crystal Palace. Lamela's laid it off to Son, who wants a free kick in the middle of the Brighton half, right in the middle of the Brighton half. And there will be a free kick to Spurs. We've played a couple of minutes of this second half on 5 Live, the 4th Premier League game of the day. Spurs leading by 1-0, and if that scoreline stays the same, they'll move second in the Premier League after Villa lost at home to Southampton 4-3. You won't want to miss the highlights of that game on Match of the Day tonight at 10:30. And Southampton with that another victory, Hasenhüttl's side. Now at the moment, free kick to Spurs midway through the Brighton half, and Harry Kane is lining this one up.
I was about to say, Seb, how far out do you think that is?
I'd say it's halfway through the Brighton half.
There you go. So I'd say about 40 yards out.
Well, Kane's going to have a go, and he clips it into Son. It was a clever ball. Son's first touches took him away from goal. A slow fall, fell down in instalments. Danger not clear though for Brighton. Harry Kane with a nutmeg. He went down in the penalty area. He felt he was fouled, and I think the referee has just given a goal kick here.
Yeah, but they will be checking it.
Or has he given a penalty?
No, he's given a goal kick. I don't know why Brighton fans are around him. Maybe they're thinking Harry Kane's dived, but he has gave a goal kick.
Well, the way the Brighton players reacted there, I thought he'd given a penalty. Certainly pointed for a goal kick. As you said, I don't know why they got so upset. Maybe they were tempting fate because the free kick. Have a look at this. We're looking at the replay now, whether it was a penalty. Yeah,
it was clever play. It's definitely clever play. That was the first one on Son. Veltman thinks Son's here. This is it. Basuma on Harry Kane. No, it's not. There's no contact at all. Harry Kane was looking for it, but I don't think it was.
Reguilon tried to drive into the Brighton penalty area. Suggestion that maybe Kane went down a little easy there.
I think that's what the Brighton players were saying, but just get on with it. The referees give the goal kick. Just get on. Don't all surround the referee. You're losing the game.
Well, there's no suggestion of any decision being changed here by VAR. John Moss in the chair for that. Graham Scott, the official, dressed in black, of course, out on the field at the moment. Brighton in their blue shirts and white shorts, and they are defending this throw-in from Spurs. And Ndombele, who's had some lovely touches in this game so far, such a talent on the ball, that gets forgotten often. Players see a profile like Ndombele and they think he's one type of player, but he is very much a beautiful player to watch when he has the ball at his feet. Reguilon has the ball for Spurs on the halfway line, who lead by 1-0 5 minutes into the second half in the Premier League against Brighton. Doherty, after Spurs lost in midweek, they're winning here, and the chance to go second in the Premier League. Manchester United losing at home to Arsenal in the game just before this. A battle between two mid-table sides, it seems, the way this Premier League's going. And there's an issue with Højbjerg, I think, down around the centre circle. Jose Mourinho looking a little concerned. He's such an important player for Spurs, Højbjerg.
I was just about to say, he's probably been Tottenham's best player this season. He sits in front of the back four and does a tremendous job. He puts out the danger, he keeps it simple. Sometimes he drops in and makes it a free when they're starting attack. So if they lose him, it'll be a huge blow for Tottenham.
Well, he stayed down at the moment. Harry Winks is warming up, and you just said he's the best player in Spurs this season. And then obviously people will say, what about Kane, what about Son? Listen, but what do you mean by that?
When I say best player, he's one of the unsung heroes. He goes about his business and he does it. So listen, the fans, some fans would appreciate it, but I think the players in the team and the management staff will appreciate the job he does. It's a brilliant job. Listen, Harry Kane and Son are the two outstanding players because they score all the goals, they get all the assists, but he does all the horrible stuff that you want in midfield. And it's not an impact injury, that is, because he just goes down, so hopefully he'll be alright.
We've just seen a replay of it, and nobody was near him, and it was just as he went to turn, it seemed to be perhaps he's twisted his ankle. He's now on the edge, on the touchline near the Spurs technical area with some medical staff waiting to come back on. I think he's going to be okay.
I think it'll take a lot to get him off for the start of the season that he's had so far.
Absolutely, the man signed from Southampton and his old club doing pretty well themselves. As the free kick's taken short by Doherty, another of Spurs' new signings, and they quietly went about picking up some very good players in the summer transfer window. And at the moment, several of those players are playing in this game and leading by 1-0 against Brighton. And we're about 7 minutes into the second half, and Brighton have a free kick on 5 Live on this Premier League Sunday. This is the final match of 4 games we've had today. Tomorrow on 5 Live we've got Leeds United against Leicester City. Tomorrow night the games keep coming. 3 games in the Champions League as well, as Brighton come forward with Lamptey driving through the middle of that Spurs midfield, but he took a heavy touch and Spurs looked to break. Not the best pass when Doherty played his teammates into trouble. Luckily a free kick given for a foul on Ndombele, and Gross is furious with that decision.
Yeah, it's not good from Matt Doherty. He plays a ball to Ndombele. He's got 3 or 4 players around him, but it's a good piece of skill, and he just manages to win a free kick of Pascal Gross.
The state of affairs is very tight. That 1-goal lead for Spurs, scored by Harry Kane in the first half, a penalty which conceded by Adam Lallana of all people, a foul on the England captain. And now Brighton have it back in their own 6-yard box with a young goalkeeper, Sanchez, who's playing instead of Matt Ryan. That's also unclear why Graham Potter's made that change. No Mopé in the squad, Connolly as well.
The Ryan one suggests that you just must have dropped him. There's no, because he's on the bench, but I think he's been brilliant for Brighton over the last few years. So it's a surprising. It's not like he's made many mistakes recently. We
can say that again. If Brighton's 120 Premier League games, Ryan started 116 of them. He's only been missing not started 4 of them. So something's gone on there. Foul in the middle of the pitch. The referee playing advantage as Brighton drive into the Spurs half, and March trying to take on Sissoko, who's always on the cover for Spurs. That midfield of Højbjerg and Sissoko providing a decent screen for a defence which many have said is the vulnerable part of this Spurs side.
Another one, Sissoko. That's the horrible bit. He's not the most flair player, but you need them players in your team to break up attacks and give it to the players that can go win you matches.
Byrne couldn't take it down in that Tottenham penalty area. Tottenham able to clear. Of course, Sissoko, people often wondered how's he getting in the France squad, and you have to realise, of course, there are certain players that managers just love.
Yeah, and can depend on. And Jose depends on Sissoko because he's a leader and he plays well and he knows what he's going to get from him. So I think he's been good alongside Højbjerg in there this season.
10 minutes into the second half, Spurs leading by a 0-0 on 5 Live, and alongside me Clinton Morrison, former Premier League striker, Republic of Ireland international, and we're watching this game here between Tottenham and Brighton in the Premier League. And at the moment the London side leading with a chance to go second in the English top flight. Lamptey plays it down the line to Lallana, pulls it back to Trossard, who missed it. It's fallen to March, and he looks for Basuma. All of that taking place in the Spurs penalty area, and March slides in with a look like a poor challenge. Referee playing on, and Brighton have it now in the Spurs penalty area. March pulling it back, and if they score here, Spurs will be furious. It's Lamptey, and he does score, and would you believe it, Brighton have equalised 10 minutes into the second half. Spurs are furious. They felt there was a foul in the build-up to that goal, but it doesn't matter because Tariq Lamptey has found the net for the away side in stunning style. His first Premier League goal. It's Spurs 1, Brighton 1.
It is a foul. It's most definitely a foul by Solly March on Højbjerg, but don't stop. Play to the referee's whistle. About 3 or 4 Tottenham players stopped there, but you have to give huge credit to Brighton. Come out this second up, and a very good finish from Lamptey. It was like an experienced Premier League striker the way he tucked that away, but it was a foul. Harry Kane stops, Højbjerg stops, quite a few players, Tottenham players switch off, but good finish from Lamptey.
They're checking it. They are checking it. If it's a possible foul, well, it looked like a foul, and I get a funny feeling Brighton and Lamptey are going to be denied here because it was a foul.
We've seen it on the replay. It definitely is a foul. He's missed it, the referee. He's told it, and Solly March has definitely caught him.
See? He has fouled him. He did get a bit of the ball.
Yeah, but if Solly March gets the ball will go in that direction where Solly March is sliding. He's still gone in Højbjerg's direction. So for me, it is a foul, but
they're going to disallow this, are they? Or is he's going to have a look? Graham Scott is going to have a look.
Seb, I guarantee you he has a look. He goes to the monitor, he changes his mind.
Absolutely.
I've not seen a referee go to the monitor yet and stick with the same decision. He's going to change his mind, and it's the right decision. It is a foul.
And it feels like the protocol to do so. Graham Scott is now looking at the screen. He's seeing the replay, seeing March's challenge on Højbjerg. Every time you look at it, it looks like a foul. So I would fancy that equaliser is going to be rubbed off here.
Catches his back leg as well. He misses in the first time, then he catches his back leg. If Solly March gets the ball, the direction of the ball changes and goes the other way.
Now remember, the players have gone to surround behind the referee so they can see the challenge as well. It's the opposite side of the pitch to the dugout, so Jose can't have a little gander either. but
it's taking a long time.
It's taking a long time, and I'm wondering why Graham Scott.
It's because he don't want to feel like he's made the wrong call.
The only question mark is that there's a little touch from March on the ball before he fouls his man. Now, is that playing a part? He wants to see different angles here.
A foul's a foul, to be fair. Whether you're saying he touches a little bit, but for me, he doesn't get enough of it. But it's taken a long time, the decision. I thought he would have gone over there and seen it's a foul.
This might be the longest I've ever seen a referee look at a screen for a decision like this, and we were under the impression that he already had his mind made up. Now Graham Scott's turning around.
He's given the goal.
He's given the goal. He has given the goal, and that is a huge talking point in this game, because looking at it first time, second time, third time, it looked like a foul from March. The only question mark is there was a little touch before on the ball before he got the man.
Nah, it's a foul. It's a foul. It's poor refereeing. Absolutely poor. VAR have got it right. They've told him to go and look at the monitor because it's not right. For me, it is a foul, and he's made a mistake and he don't want to change his mind. But credit to him, he stuck by his rules and said that for me it's a definite penalty. Definite free kick for Tottenham.
08085 909 693. Telephone lines are open for 606 with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton, and they will take your calls on that incident. And if you aren't able to see that incident, you can see it on Match of the Day 2 tonight as well. It is a big talking point for this Premier League weekend, if of course Spurs don't win this game, or Brighton gets something out of this game, an equaliser. And through all that sort of situation, I have to remind you the score is now Spurs 1, Brighton 1. An equaliser, a first Premier League goal for Tariq Lamptey, and they're breaking away now, Brighton, with Trossard. He's in the Spurs penalty area, has a shot blocked by Alderweireld. What a game this has turned into all of a sudden with that decision.
I'd love to hear Jose at the end. If they don't get anything, good luck someone doing an interview with him, because I wouldn't be happy as a manager. It's a terrible decision from the referee. That is a stonewall free kick, so I don't know how he's not changed his mind.
Now, of course, Jose Mourinho wouldn't have seen the replay. Well, maybe somebody's shown it to him on a phone or something.
They'll definitely have an iPad or a little monitor down there for sure to see the replay, and he will know. All his coaching staff got up and couldn't believe it.
Well, we've got the sense from Jose recently that he's tried to stay away from blaming referees and things like that, but it'll be interesting to hear what he thinks, and we will hear what he thinks live on 606 later. It's going to be quite the interview with George Cummings later, I'm telling you that. Stay tuned for that. Brighton have it down the line, and Dyer coming across to take out his man and the ball. We saw March do that a second ago, and it was fine.
Must say though, good finish. We didn't talk about the Brighton goal. It was good build-up play, and the finish from Lamptey is a composed finish at the back post to beat Hugo Lloris.
Well, as it stands, Spurs 1, Brighton 1. Not enough to take Spurs into second in the table, and another one of those really freaky situations. But a long time to play. We've just hit the hour mark, just past the hour mark, so at least half an hour to go. And a talking point, and we love a talking point when we watch football. We sort of complain about decisions, but we like that when they happen, don't we?
Seb, no word of a lie. Every time I come to Tottenham, there's a talking point. I was here when the Eric Dyer handball against Newcastle.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. March's cross comes in, and Brighton almost getting on the end of the cross. Spurs struggling to clear. Højbjerg, a bit of composure needed, able to get it away. And halfway, and Kane, who was furious with the referee's decision when he refused to overturn it. They were all watching the screen behind him, about 4 or 5 players. Brighton breaking through, and Spurs all over the place defensively. Basuma, he charged all the way through, and Spurs can't break Brighton's attacks down that well at the moment.
No, they can't get out. Odembele, sloppy play in midfield, and Tottenham have been rattled by that goal. They have been rattled. They're losing possession, and they don't look comfortable at this precise moment. I can see Lo Celso getting ready. I can see him probably coming on for Tanguy Odembele.
Well, Lo Celso, the sort of player who can get his foot on the ball and slow things down, but we sort of feel like Odembele should be able to do that, but they are shaken here, Spurs, by that decision. And all of a sudden, Graham Potter's side smell the chance to take the lead in this contest. Solly March playing his part in the build-up to that goal, deemed a fair part. If you're just joining us, Brighton equalised just after half-time, after Tariq Lamptey got his first goal for the club, but it was the circumstances and the build-up to that goal where Solly March had a tackle on Højbjerg that was deemed fair by referee Graham Scott, it's questionable how fair that tackle was. And there's a tackle, funnily enough, on March, who stayed down. And Spurs are going to make their substitution here. It looks like Lo Celso's coming on, and we're just waiting to see who's going to come off here. Is it Lamela trudging across?
Nah, Odembele's coming off. 28. Yeah, 28.
Yeah, you called it, Clinton. Off he comes, the Frenchman. It's a little dejected, really. It's a disappointing point in the game to come off. Your side's just conceded. Almost gives the impression that now the game needs to change, need to go up a gear again, and on comes the talented Argentinian Giovanni Lo Celso. And how will he be different to Ndombele, Clinton?
He'll look to go forward more, and I don't think there's much in it. I think Odembele is a better player than Lo Celso. I think Lo Celso's a good player. He will try to pick the pass. He can pick a pass, and he is a good player. But for me, Odembele is a better player than Lo Celso. That's just my honest opinion.
Well, March is still down here. He doesn't look in a good way. He's looking at the medic, was shaking his head. He's breathing hard, and he's being helped to his feet. And you just wonder if Brighton may have to take Solly March off. He certainly played his part in this contest, March, and we're seeing the incident now of how he injured himself, falling on top of Doherty.
Yeah, he just, watching the replay again, said he makes the tackle, he fouls Doherty, but he twists his ankle rolls in the ground. So they're sore ones. I think you can sometimes run them off, but the next day they will be sore. But it was a big twist, that was, of his ankle.
We're in the 65th minute at the Tottenham Stadium. Tottenham 1, Brighton 1, the fourth game of this Premier League Sunday. As I think Bernardo's down there about to come on for Brighton. But earlier on, Villa losing 4-3 in something of a classic against Southampton. They were 4-0 down in that game and almost pulled it through at the end. Newcastle beating Everton back-to-back defeats for Ancelotti's men, and Manchester United losing at home to Arsenal. Penalty from Aubameyang to end his drought. And Lamptey running down the right-hand side. He'll be so delighted to get that goal to add to another industrious display.
It's what he deserves that for the season that he's had so far. The goal's a really good finish. As goes to his game, playing as that wing back is what Lamptey needs to do, and he'll be challenging for an England spot sooner or later. I know there's a lot of good right backs, but he's a really good player. When Gareth Southgate plays a free, I really like him going forward, really good. Listen, Trent Alexander-Arnold, number one for me at this precise moment. You got Reece James, Wan-Bissaka, there's a long list of them, but Lamptey's a really good player.
Bernardo is on for Brighton to replace Solly March in the left back position, or left wing back position, and the Brazilian, who struggled really to get into the Brighton side. He hasn't had a Premier League start since February, and he's on the pitch now as we see a shot of, on our monitors, of Solly March just trudging to the bench. But he's had his moment in this game, in the build-up to that goal, and it's been deemed in the letter of the law a fair tackle that's helped Brighton to equalise.
Yeah, we won't talk about that, Seb. We'll let the others talk about it. I think we spoke about that too much.
Brighton have a corner, and it goes, and Webster attacks it. He flew himself at that corner, but it just skimmed off his head and goes out for a throw-in. Yeah,
Tottenham are rattled. Brighton have been the better team in the second half, and Tottenham, they haven't started yet. That's why Jose's made a change. Wouldn't surprise me if you don't see Gareth Bale coming on anytime soon, because they need a spark at this precise moment.
Bale is warming up with that famous top knot. He'll be on the pitch soon, you would fancy. Possibly Lamela the man to make way, you would think. Now, Reguilon, he loves to run down the left-hand side. He's got a match, though, in to try to get past Lamptey, and he decides not to take on that challenge. Ball played into the centre circle for Kane, who looks to play a ball over the top to Son. They've not been able to link up tonight, though. Spurs push forward again with Kane. Gets it back. Looked like it was a foul from Basuma. They were all over him there. It's in the right-hand position near the right touchline for Spurs, and Lo Celso to Doherty. Lo Celso again holding off Bernardo, the other Brighton substitute. Ndombele short to Lo Celso. Lo Celso inside to Lamela. It's opened up for Lamela on the edge of the penalty area. Lamela has a shot. He hits the post, and it's almost turned into his own net by Veltman. And Spurs so close to taking the lead.
Yeah, it was good football. Lo Celso involved in it, playing 1 and 2 touch with Sissoko. It gets to Lamela, he drives inside. It's a good shot. It's beaten Sanchez, comes off the post, and then Veltman nearly scores an own goal, and it's a great reaction save from Sanchez.
The goalkeeper, Sanchez, he was going down his stages there, but did enough. Corner goes in, back post, cleared away, right near the line. I think it was Byrne in there. And Brighton survive 1-1 midway through the second half at the Tottenham Stadium.
That's a brilliant save from Sanchez. Feltman's, he obviously doesn't think his defender's going to have a clearance that goes, and it's a great, reaction save, and that's what goalkeepers work on in training. A good save from Sanchez there.
On his Premier League and Brighton debut. When I say debut, of course, for the senior team, he's played for their under-23 side, and he was recently on loan at Rochdale, and a big step up for him tonight. The 22-year-old Spaniard replacing Matt Ryan, who is on the Brighton bench, unlike Neil Maupay. But at the moment, Brighton are playing like they don't miss those key players. They're on the front foot, they fancy their chances, and Ben White has it in the midfield. He plays it wide to the right-hand side, and they're happy to just slow things up and get themselves moving again. Gross just clips it over the top. Spurs are going to bring on Gareth Bale any second now. When the ball goes out of play, the Welshman will enter the field, and they'll need him. But Lamela chasing down a ball. Feltman had to clear it away. It's on halfway now with Spurs and Sissoko. He tries to get away from a challenge in midfield from Ben White, and it will be a free kick. It's been some battle in there now. The two sides, they feel equally matched at the moment. Lamela going off for Tottenham, and on comes Gareth Bale.
Seems set for him, Seb. It's set for him. This could be the game where you see the Gareth Bale slowly but surely getting up there, and it could be his game to come on and maybe score the winner.
Bale on in the 70th minute with Spurs 1, Brighton 1 on the scoreboard on 5 Live. As Lo Celso has a free kick to take, clips it in towards that Brighton penalty area, easily headed away, goes to out for a throw-in. Doherty wastes no time throwing it back into that penalty area, and first touch for Bale. Doherty sends the cross in, and Brighton head it behind for a corner. Ben White. You can feel that when Bale came on, you could just sense the change in the Brighton team.
Because it's a threat, and it's someone who's a big name in the game, who's a superstar. But I feel Brighton have been brilliant, and Tottenham needed to make a few changes to get back into this game.
The game really feels like it's coming to life here as Spurs press to take the lead again. Lo Celso's corner, it's a teasing one, back post, must score! Oh, how did they not put it in at right of the back post? Kane hits the post, ball sent back in again, and Sanchez claims the goal was there for Harry Kane. He went to hit the target, he hit the post instead.
I can't believe how Harry Kane's not scored. Maybe the angles are against him, watching it on the replay. It's his touch. His touch takes him right near, so he's so close to the post, and he can't get it back the other side of the post. But yeah, it's his touch. His touch makes him not get that goal. But it's a good flick on from Gareth Bale, so it's a good introduction from Gareth Bale. But it's a great chance for Harry Kane. His touch let him down.
If Spurs don't win this game, you'll definitely want to see that miss from Kane on Match of the Day 2 tonight at 10:30. And so much to discuss on 606, which follows this match between Tottenham and Brighton, 1-1. And Brighton come forward with Ben White, moves it wide to Lamptey in the right hand side on the edge of the Spurs penalty area. Webster thought about the cross, thought again, and now plays it back to Byrne, and they'll build again, no need to rush. Bernardo has it on the left hand side, they moved it all the way across. Bernardo has to be careful here, Doherty giving him no space at all to turn. And it's back in the Brighton half now, and Feltman to get them going again. Plays it into midfield, and White keeps it simple. Now Byrne has it on the halfway line, being marshalled by Son. Spurs can't win the ball back at the moment. Basuma, who's been excellent in midfield for Brighton, it's gone all the way back to Feltman. There's been some impressive performances in this Brighton side as this game has worn on. They've really grown into it. First 15 minutes it was all Spurs, and now with about 20 minutes to go, it's 1-1 here, and the side who look better on the ball are Brighton, but of course Spurs have that danger.
Yeah, they have that danger because they've got the Harry Kane and the Son effect, but credit to Brighton, they've been excellent second half, and as I said, Tottenham haven't really got started. I know they just had a good chance through Harry Kane, but their passing hasn't been nowhere near good enough in this second half from Tottenham.
One standout thing about this contest is that the ball's barely been out of play. The two sides have kept the ball very well. It's been relentless in many ways in terms of the ball being in play, which is what we like to see. Ball's moved wide to the left, lovely ball from Alderweireld in a crossing position now is Reguilon. He plays it into a Bale!
What did I say?
And Gareth Bale has headed in his first Tottenham goal on his return. Instant impact from the Welshman once again to endear himself to the Tottenham faithful. Gareth Bale on the score sheet. It's Tottenham 2, Brighton 1.
Seb, I just want to say well done, Clinton, because I did call it. No, not really. I just felt it. You know when you can just feel something, that the game's gone a bit flat, and Gareth Bale, he's come on a few times and not really made a big impact, but this is good play from Reguilon, and it's a great header from Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale's been scoring goals like that for his whole career, but good play from Reguilon. But I'd have to say before that, Alderweireld knocks a great 50-yard diagonal ball, but it's a great header from Gareth Bale.
So are you claiming the assist for that goal, Clinton?
Yeah, and the tactical change, everything. Tell Jose thank you very much. But nah, it's a great header from Gareth Bale past Sanchez, and that is what Gareth Bale's all about.
He is the big man for the big stage, and Brighton are forced to make a change, and another high-profile player has come on. Danny Welbeck has made his entrance, and Trossard has gone off, and this is going to be some finish to this game, you feel now. Spurs have their lead by 2-1, about 15 minutes of the 90 to go. Danny Welbeck on. They have a striker now, Brighton, but it's probably come just a minute too late. They were level on terms just a moment ago, and now they have themselves a job to do once again. And they've given it away on the halfway line, and Lo Celso went in with a challenge with Webster. They both get to their feet, and Brighton have it on the right-hand side. Or they put the ball out of play because Tariq Lamptey is down. And we have a break in play. It feels like it's been breathless.
Yeah, it has. And, you know, Brighton will be disappointed conceding that goal, because I think they've been the better team and a bit unfortunate. But when you look at Tottenham, the players they brought on, Lo Celso, Gareth Bale, a world superstar in Gareth Bale, and that's the introduction you want. And that's why their squad's so good, because they leave good players out. And when you're not in a team like Bale is, you want to come on and make an impact, and that's what he's done with a terrific header.
Well, so much to talk about in this contest. 0808 909 693 to phone the 606 show with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton, and they will take calls on Gareth Bale, of course, scoring his first Tottenham goal on his return to the club. The penalty incident in the first half, right, the conceded by Lallana, converted by Kane, and then the Brighton goal itself to equalise in this contest. There was suspicions that it probably should have been not given for a foul from Solly March, who's gone off the field injured incidentally, as Lamptey looks like he's hobbling off as well, so worries for Graham Potter. And if you're keeping up or just joining this game, you miss so much in it. But Spurs, the most important fact is that Spurs lead by 2-1 on this Premier League Sunday.
Yeah, it's been a good game, Seb. It's been a really good game. But you got to credit Brighton, having no recognised striker. They've caused Tottenham a lot of problems. But as I said, when you've got world superstars that you can bring off the bench, that's the difference between the two teams at this precise moment.
And it's always helpful, yes, when you can bring on Gareth Bale. There's no doubt about that. Spurs have got their lead back, and now they'll look to defend. How will they approach these last 15 minutes? Because they seem to have the game won at home to West Ham and home to Newcastle, and they threw those games away.
That's a good point you made, Seb. At the back of players' minds, you do think like that on the football pitch. You'll be thinking, we have to keep it tight, or maybe we have to go and get a third goal.
And Brighton play it all the way through to Lloris. And if you enjoyed this game on 5 Live, the third of our 3 commentaries today, we've got another one tomorrow as Leeds United host Leicester City, and then 3 more games in the Champions League in midweek. Manchester City hosting Olympiacos on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday you've got Manchester United travelling to Istanbul to play Başakşehir. That's on Sports Extra. And then later in that evening, Chelsea host Rennes, who are in the Champions League for the first time. The French side that they signed their new goalkeeper from, Mendy. And Chelsea in the Premier League this season, along with Spurs and Brighton and all these sides in England's top flight, who've provided so much entertainment in the opening weeks during this difficult period. And Byrne has it with Brighton midway through the Brighton half, and they have to try and get themselves back into this contest again with about 13 minutes of the 90 to go. And Lamptey, who had gone down a moment ago, is back to his feet again and skipping past players. On the halfway line now is Byrne for Brighton. He moves it to Bernardo. Bernardo under pressure from Doherty, who's not given Bernardo any space since he's come on. Veltman plays a ball over the top towards Danny Welbeck, who will chase this, and we know that Welbeck can chase those sort of things, and gets it back to Bernardo. Ball hadn't gone out of play, but Spurs clear through Gareth Bale, who at the moment is the match winner.
Yeah, he is, and it's a good race that Welbeck done ever so well. He did look sharp beating Matt Doherty to the ball there, so I think Welbeck will be a good signing for Brighton. When he gets the match fitness up, I think he'll be a really good signing. He's still got loads to offer.
Well, what a moment that was for Gareth Bale to get a goal back again. After 7 years, he's on the score sheet again for Tottenham. And I think it's McAllister down there, Alexis McAllister, and he's going to come on for Lamptey. So obviously I think Lamptey had picked up a little knock just a moment ago, and Potter doesn't want to risk him. But this is starting to turn into another one of those games for Brighton where they look so impressive, play good football, and end up taking nothing from it.
And that would be the disappointing thing, playing so well, probably being the better team, and then you don't take no points, and that can really start affecting the confidence. But I still feel these Brighton players believe in the way Potter's doing things, and results will change sooner or later.
Well, here come Brighton on the halfway line with Veltman. Brighton trailing by 2-1 at Spurs' stadium here. The Spurs break away now with Son, plays it to Kane, and Kane looks to take on Webster for pace and ends up fouling him. Spurs, with this lead that they have, would move them second in the Premier League table, and that will be a great start for Jose Mourinho's side as they start to maybe think about a title challenge. And there, I've said it.
You said it, but Chris Sutton will not agree with you.
Well, we will see. I don't think Spurs fans would agree with me, to be honest. It's been so long. Burn has it midway through his own half, and Brighton with that back three looking to build again, as they've got about 10 minutes plus added time in the 90 to try and find an equaliser, trailing by 2-1. Kane has it, turns away from trouble, tries one of those little switch passes he likes to play behind the back line. I think it was almost a blind ball. Bale hadn't made the run, but we know what the back pages will say if the score stays the same. Gareth Bale to the rescue for Spurs in a game which looked like it might be heading the way of their other recent home games, in more drop points in the games in which they've had the better chances. But Bernardo went to make a run over the top. Burn tried to play it through to him. The pass blocked by Gareth Bale. 10 minutes to go. Spurs 2, Brighton 1. And Brighton have it now on the halfway line, with Gross playing it down the line to Welbeck. Welbeck wants that ball back from McAllister. Is he going to get it? Instead, he's just ushered out of play the Argentinian. In this contest now, Brighton need a goal in the last 10 minutes to get a point from this game. A point? Do they deserve a point from this game, Clinton? Yeah,
they do deserve it, but that's not what football's about, deserving it. You got to earn the right to get that, and you know, you have to finish your chances and defend better. And they played well, Brighton. They do deserve something out of the game, but Tottenham are winning, and I think Tottenham need to see out this game, because in the back of their minds they'll be thinking about the West Ham game. Well,
Gross has it. And do you think Spurs, they've got West Brom next, and then they've got a pretty tough run of fixtures, so to get a win here and push for a win against West Brom, well, that would really set them up nicely, because they've got all the big boys in the weeks after that, including their London rivals, and Liverpool and Manchester City, Wolves as well, Leicester. We'll find out after that run whether they are championship material.
Hopefully I'll be back on with you, Seb, and I'll say to you after that run, if they're still up there, you were spot on about title contenders. But you know what? It's a strange old season, so I do believe Tottenham have got a great chance. If they defend like they can defend, going forward they'll always score goals.
And that has been proven in this game, and they had Gareth Bale to call off the bench and score the goal to make it Tottenham 2, Brighton 1, with about 8 minutes to go now as we close in. And of course Spurs fans listening will have that nervous feeling all of a sudden, because they know how recent games have ended at home, and we're in that 82nd minute when that comeback started from West Ham. Of course Burn has it for Brighton on the left hand side. He tries to get across in. Doherty, who's defended pretty well down that side, puts it out for a throw in.
No, he has. He's defended well, Doherty. He had a few shaky moments in the first half, but I think he's defended really well in the second half.
All the talk about Liverpool having problems. They lead the Premier League as it stands by 2 points from Tottenham, with this lead that Spurs have in this game. Everton losing again, Southampton winning, so they're now level with Everton, but just behind them on goal difference in 4th, Wolves in 5th. Brighton dig across down towards the near post. Lloris came for it, danger not clear, and Brighton with Bernardo following up. There was a chance there, ball played in towards the near post. Lloris came, just got enough on it. A nervy moment for Spurs.
Yeah, it was a nervy moment. I think Lallana, he could have picked out Welbeck. Welbeck done well to challenge Lloris. He spills it, and then Lallana was in a good position. I think he just played it behind Danny Welbeck. But you can see now Brighton are dominating. What Tottenham don't do is Tottenham are sitting back, so they're inviting pressure, and they can't get out at this precise moment.
Bernardo tried to just clip it down the line to Basuma, who has not stopped running today for Brighton. A big performance from him, the Marlin in that midfield, as we're seeing a replay of that incident for Brighton. Welbeck and Lloris coming together at the near post. Danger not clear though for Spurs. Lallana moving it wide. He's had a quiet second half. Former England international.
You're spot on, Seb. But I can see Tottenham, they're worried. They were going to bring on another defender in Ben Davies. It wouldn't surprise me if they take off Son and then put Davies behind and put Reguilon just to sit in front of him.
Well, here comes another Welsh substitute. And Davies, he's going to come on. He started the game against Burnley and in midweek. And they're taking off Son, so that says all you need to know. With 6 minutes of the 90 left, Son, who's had a very quiet game, it has to be said, after his recent performances. On comes Davies.
Yeah, you can see that it's a sensible substitution. You're under pressure, you've got another defender to come on. He can either sit where Reguilon is, or Reguilon can sit in front of him, and then you've got 2 left backs there to deal with. Listen, it hasn't been Son's afternoon, but he's been excellent, and there's bigger games to come for Tottenham.
On BBC Radio 5 Live, it's Spurs 2, Brighton 1. 5 minutes of the 90 to go. Spurs protecting this lead against an enterprising Brighton side who've played pretty well today, but their fans will have heard that story many times already this season. If they emerge with nothing, again, just one win in this campaign against Newcastle away from home. They have a good record away from home. Now, Brighton won a handball against Dyer. It just flicked up against him. We've heard that sort of situation before.
With that player as well, around this time of the game as well.
It looks like, though, that nothing doing with that. They play a long ball forward to the away side, and it's claimed by Lloris, and he'll sit on that for another minute or so. And Graham Scott, they're just thinking about, is he getting a word for John Moss in his ear? We're seeing a replay of that handball incident. Now let's see. It certainly strikes the arm of Dyer.
It does strike the arm of Dyer, you're spot on. It does strike it, but it's not in the box, it's outside the box anyway.
We've been there before as well, right on the edge.
Yes, we have, mate.
And I think that's probably what they were checking, because if that had been in the penalty area, they would have been in trouble. Meanwhile, free kick to Brighton. They trail by 2 goals to 1. 4 minutes to go. Pascal Gross to take this free kick. Played in by Gross onto the head of Webster, and Lloris claims it and almost dropped it. Almost a similar incident to what happened to him last season when Brighton came and beat Spurs.
Yeah, it's because it was a kind of a looping header from Webster, and you're thinking as a goalkeeper, can I catch it? Have I got enough time? You stumble back, but he does well in the end. Lloris does, to hang on to the ball and not take it over the line.
It's very close-hearted now for Lloris. He does present himself as a calm customer, though. All that experience, Hugo Lloris. What a servant he's been for club and country. And Brighton have it in their own half. They've had so much of the ball in this game. With 3.5 minutes of the 90 to go, they trail Spurs by 2 goals to 1. The final Premier League game this Sunday, the third actually of our commentaries on 5 Live, but there were 4 games in total today. Villa losing at home to Southampton 4-3. Don't miss that game on Match of the Day 2 tonight at 10:30, as Spurs look to break away on the halfway with Sissoko. They don't have Son in their attack anymore, but they do have Gareth Bale. Sissoko, he's going to run this to the corner, I think. Remember, we're creeping into the 87th minute. He's got it by the corner flag, and he's ended up conceding a throw in the other way. He's caught in 2 minds there, Sissoko.
He was, because Gareth Bale made a good run, and he's thinking, should I play it to him? There's 3 minutes to go. And in the end, if you're not going to make the decision, then take it to the corner flag. And it keeps it out of Tottenham's end. Brighton
launch a throw down the line through Burn. Bernardo heads it into the midfield. McAllister tried to let it bounce. He ends up giving possession to Tottenham, and Kane gets it under his control. Once the free kick goes down, Referee not interested, and Brighton will have to come forward again. Have they got enough about them? Oh, it's a slip by Bernardo, and here's Bale in the penalty area, lays it back to Lo Celso. Can he finish it off? Tries to curl it, and it's wide of the post. An unfortunate slip there from Bernardo.
Yeah, he did slip. I didn't know what happened. I thought he just basically tripped over the ball, slipped over, and it was a good chance, good play from Lo Celso to play to Bale, back to Lo Celso, and he has a shot that just goes wide of the post.
Well, as it stands, with 2 minutes and 90 to go, Brighton look like they're going to lose again after playing pretty well. What happens when they don't play well?
That's what I mean. It's difficult when you're playing well when you're losing matches. It can definitely, confidence can start dropping.
Ben White has it in the centre circle, playing in that midfield role now. That I wonder if he'll stay there much longer. He thought he would drop back into the back three with Dunk's suspension, but he's still in that midfield. And Brighton trying to probe in the right-hand side, trying to make something happen. Basuma now in the centre of midfield. Spurs have everybody back inside their own half to defend, and Brighton looking for openings. Nothing dangerous so far for Spurs to worry about. Feldman has it, plays it short to White in that midfield. Bernardo to the left, can he get a cross in? He's in that sort of area. Now Ben White, he's released Welbeck, but a cross comes out of Ireland. I don't think Welbeck was switched on for that pass.
Yeah, it was. I think Ben White just overhit it, to be fair, and it was good. Toby Alderweireld read it ever so well, but he looked sharp, Danny Welbeck. He's had some good movement up front so far.
The words of Clinton Morrison, who's been alongside me, Seb Hutchinson, for this contest between Tottenham and Brighton. And Tottenham having to defend here, defend their lead. We're in the 90th minute. They lead by 2-1, and if you're just joining us, the goal that put Spurs in front, scored by Gareth Bale. Davies with a header to clear it away for Tottenham. And the Lily Whites bring it forward again. They're on halfway, but they've given it away, but the ball just ran out of play. And we're in the 90th minute here, Clinton. You just feel that Brighton don't seem to be offering too much to suggest they'll find an equaliser.
No, they played ever so well. I think they just lack that cutting edge up front, you know, where you just need that predator instinct inside the box. But the build-up play has been fantastic, and that's probably been the story of Brighton's season. Good football, but it's not putting the ball away.
Tottenham so close here, but there's going to be 6 minutes of added time, and that will put a few nerves in the bellies of Spurs fans and probably their manager Jose Mourinho. There's been a few injuries in this half. Brighton have lost a couple of players through injury. Offside flag's gone up, so Spurs will have the ball in their possession. So much to talk about on 6:06 tonight with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. 08085 909 693. So much to discuss in this contest if you are just joining us, because there was a penalty to Spurs in the first half, questionable whether it was in or outside the area. Question marks over Brighton's equaliser. Was there a foul in the build-up? And just to talk about Gareth Bale's impact off the bench, his goal looks like it's going to be the winning goal as it stands, although there's still 5 minutes of added time to play, and Spurs just trying to keep the ball in the corner. They've won a free kick. There's frustration from McAllister, the Brighton substitutes. Brighton have played all their cards, and it feels like at the moment, even though we've got that time, the Spurs should be able to see this one out. Just simply by the fact that Brighton don't look to be offering too much in the last 20 minutes.
No, they don't. They've kept the ball for fun, but they haven't created any clear-cut chances. There was that half chance where Welbeck collided with Lloris, and Lallana maybe should have picked out Danny Welbeck. But other than that, it's been quite comfortable. But at the same time, only takes a second to score a goal.
Well, it's going to take longer than a second to score a goal because the ball's down in the corner flag near the Brighton goal. So they're going to have to go some to find the net from this sort of position. And they're just going to marshal it. And this is a learning curve for Tottenham, really, in this sort of environment, because the big teams, the sides that win titles, they see these games out with ease, don't they?
You're 100% spot on, Seb. It's like Liverpool when they played and they didn't play well yesterday and then managed to get that result. That's what you do. That's what good teams do, and that's what people that want to win the titles, that's what they do. And it's not been vintage Tottenham this evening, but if they can get the 3 points, Jose will be really happy. It's like when they went to Burnley last week, didn't play well but managed to come away with a 1-0 win, and that's what the real teams who win the championship do.
And there's not been many better managers. As Brighton give the ball away in the 6-yard box, and Feldman just about got away with that. He almost gifted it to Lo Celso there, but he's okay, and Brighton will get a chance to pump it downfield. I was going to say Jose Mourinho is one of the best coaches we've seen in the past during his first Chelsea spell, especially at defending leads and seeing games out. But Brighton have it with Danny Welbeck. Imagine if he was to find an equaliser. Basuma, that's a ball clipped over the top, and Lloris will claim with ease.
Yeah, you're right, and you've been spot on, Seb, with what you said about Brighton. The build-up play is good. It's just in that final third where they've lacked that cutting edge. Because if they had the cutting edge, it would have caused Tottenham more problems this evening. Tottenham
just a couple of minutes away now. We're into the 6 minutes of added time, but we've got about a minute and a half to go, and Spurs applying the pressure high up the pitch to Reguilon. He's not going to let Webster out here. Webster really needs to get this down the other end, and he wins a throw-in. There's probably a few tired legs out there. One more push for Brighton. They need it down the other end of the pitch. They're deep in their own half, and Webster just hacks it forward. The body language from the Brighton players seems to suggest they don't feel they can get back into this. Heavy touch from Lallana. Doherty plays it down the line to Bale, and surely he'll run it into the corner. Gareth Bale wins a throw-in, and the throw-in's worth so much off Ben White.
Yeah, that's experience for Gareth Bale. Just waited, bided his time, and won the throw-in. So, yeah, good play.
An intense look from Jose Mourinho on the touchline. Some words with Doherty, who I don't think Doherty particularly liked what Mourinho had to say to him. Is probably keep the ball and see this win out for us, please. Our first home win in the Premier League this season, would you believe, for a side who are going to move into second. But they've won all their away games. That's been the key. Kane, can he keep hold of it and keep it in the corner? He can. Throw into Brighton, and we're into the 6th minute of the added time here that we're allocated. Brighton need the ball right down the other end, but Spurs are boxing them in. Bernardo, was he fouled? He wasn't. Kane wins a throw-in, and you think that will be that. They're so far away from that Tottenham goal now. Brighton is right in the corner near their goal. Yeah,
Jose will be happy because the ball's at the right end for Tottenham, and I think they've managed to see out this game.
Which is saying something. That's a big achievement in itself for Tottenham this season, after late equalisers at home to Newcastle and at home to West Ham. But Brighton have the ball on the halfway line with Lallana. He's helped it on towards Welbeck. He can't get their head out of Alderweireld. Spurs have it with Bale, and it's going to be a throw-in off Basuma. And surely the time is up now. We've played the 6 minutes. Eyes on Graham Scott, the referee. Basuma punches the ball in frustration. He knows the game is up now for Brighton, and Doherty will take the throw down the line. It's going to run away here. Feltman will try and see it out for a goal kick. Kane did well to keep it in play and keep them moving, and it's with their goalkeepers, Sanchez, and they have to get it forward here. They're trying to play it out again. They just do not have this time, Brighton, and it's probably symptomatic of the sort of style of play at the moment. They don't just pump it long. They pumped it long now. Last attack. Bernardo has it on the left-hand side. This has to go into the penalty area. He plays it back to Basuma, and the full-time whistle is blown. Tottenham celebrate because they've held on for a victory. Their first home win of the campaign, delivered thanks to goals from Harry Kane and Gareth Bale, either side of Tariq Lamptey's first goal for Brighton and his first Premier League goal. But Jose Mourinho will be delighted that his side have found a way to win at home and move themselves second in the Premier League table, and won this game by 2 goals to 1.
Yeah, you're right. I think Jose will be more happy that they've got the 3 points. It wasn't vintage Spurs performance. I think Brighton were really good, probably deserved the draw out of the game, but I think when you can bring on the talent of like Lo Celso and Gareth Bale, and he was the match winner. So yeah, you're happy for Gareth Bale because it's been a struggle the last few years, but he's come on and showed his quality.
Not a sparkling performance by Spurs, but they won't care a jot, because in recent games at home they've dropped points late on. They held on in this one, and they will be delighted, Jeanette, that's for sure.